Hello all YouTubers, I am the Weather Dude. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you all for tuning back into this presentation for May 27th, 2019. As always, please don't forget to subscribe and also ring the bell notifications. Never miss one of my videos again. And as always, please look in the description for other videos of mine with superior weather content that you won't find anywhere else. And just please take an extra 30 seconds just to share this video so people can know what's going on, because today I'll be talking about the tropics and potential tropical storm Barry, how the chances are kind of low, but we still do have chance for it to form. So very important video. Please don't forget to watch the whole video as well, and just don't forget to share. Just take the extra 30 seconds to do that as well. So the oceanic heat content across the Caribbean is like excessive. Like we got these yellows and even these reds starting to come into play, and it's actually gonna be one of those storms. So we have a low pressure down there in the Pacific, and it could potentially cross over. This could be well south of Yucatan, like near Central America, kind of, and then make like a hook curve potentially, and then head into the Western Gulf. So it's only gonna have really like a couple chances to form here and here. Just that's your two water body areas. Now, if it were to go more like this and then curve up, take more like an easterly track and then curve, it would have more time over water. So this is going to be a coast tugger, as we would call it. So the more time has over the water, the better for the storm. Because sea surface temperatures, as you will see in a bit, are going to be very warm. Okay, so here's your little group of storms right now. That's your Invest, what we call Invest 91E. And it's not called 91L because it's not in the Atlantic. It's still in the Pacific, but it could potentially cross into the Atlantic. Or you could call it the Caribbean, but part of the Atlantic hurricane season. And right now, the National Hurricane Center is giving it a 10% chance to develop. I think those chances could certainly go up. And if I check the National Hurricane Center, as you remember when I was covering Andrea, it just kept updating. So, like, as I was talking through my presentation. So, we'll see if this updates. But as of now, I do believe there is a 10% chance to develop. Yeah, so it's going to be 10%. But regardless of development, locally heavy rains are going to be expected. So, 2-day outlook, no chance in the Atlantic, and 5-day outlook, no chance. But in the Eastern Pacific, that's going to be your little area, if it were to form. It's gonna move over mountainous kind of terrain as well, so weaken the storm a little bit. But it's still flash flooding, still concern. Can't let your guard down in that department. But dry air, I mean, like, it's not until it gets here in the Caribbean we have really no dry air. And actually, wind shear anomalies are below average by about 20 or 30 knots. So, stuff is starting to come together. But if you look, we have excessive thunderstorm development right now over Central America, right there in that pink. That's like the highest like you can possibly get, like all the way down the pink. So that means like super heavy rainfall, okay, super cold cloud tops as you would call it. But still, heavy thunderstorm so we got some disorganized thunderstorm activity. And it wasn't like Andrea where we had a high pressure up to the east, had that like southerly flow to help give those storms some lift and some spin. That's why for an Invest, Andrea looks so organized, because it had a high pressure to aid in that spin development. But we just don't have it with this system, not the high pressure. The MSLP anomalies prove that. So MSLP, okay, just you can see the GFS model, starting to see something come together maybe over the next 5 days. Little low pressure development, but nothing. Like at best, I could maybe call this a tropical depression, but I'm still gonna consider it being potentially a tropical storm if the ingredients start coming together. The Euro model was calling for some as well. Actually, if we hop over to the Euro model, we can see according to the cyclonic vorticities. So I just get nervous when I say that word. Don't know why. But you can see, yeah, maybe over, but that's not even until June 4th. If we see a little developing storm right before it makes landfall. If it does form, it's going to be like, probably going to be just like Andrea, except in a different spot. It might form for like 6 to 12 hours, have 40 mile/hour sustained winds, which is the bare minimum for a tropical storm, and then just die out. If it does form into a tropical storm, that's what will probably happen. I think that makes the most sense. But if you do your model, I don't know how the color contrast is on your device, but if you look down here, we start to see some oranges coming together too, so maybe you can see some development over the next 3 to 5 days. But again, it's not circulatory. You don't see like a wraparound in the storm, so just don't see it really happening too much. But you look at 12Z from yesterday, kind of looking at the same thing. So Euro model is kind of consistent with this. If we look at the 850 millibar winds, then you can see not really any dark blue, no greens to really point out. So I don't really see this being too much of a problem. Maybe 192 here, some darker blues, maybe a tropical depression. But like I said, that's about it. This is going to be like a possibility, you can call it, is the word for this. But bad news and some good news. The waters off like Tampa, Florida, and also off the coast of New Orleans, Biloxi, Mississippi, Mobile, Alabama, have been significantly warming over the past few days. Okay, and we're up to like 28 to 29 degrees Celsius along the coast, including like New Orleans, Biloxi, Mississippi, Mobile, Alabama, Tampa, Florida. Your waters have been warming significantly. So now your water temperatures are 82.5 to like more than 84 degrees Fahrenheit. Very warm stuff. Now, we will have some more sea surface temperatures, unlike Andrea did with the storm system. Oh, whoops. That was bad. But see, the low pressure will cross through here, kind of be in this area for a little bit. So 28, maybe a 29. This was taken from the coldest time of the day, 12Z. It's from 8 o'clock this morning. Yes, 18Z doesn't come out for like another 2 hours. So, but 28, 29, so 80, like in low to mid 80s. Then once it crosses over here, actually, if it crosses through like right in this region right here, like on the western Yucatan, that's actually 30 degrees Celsius. But overall, 28 to 29 is where it's going to spend most of its time in the storm track. Okay, sea surface temperature anomalies. We have that still that area off the coast of Virginia, Maryland, and Delaware, well off the coast, but over 3 to 5 degrees Celsius above average. So we're talking about like 8 plus degrees Fahrenheit above average. So very warm. But along the coast, we've seen an increase in sea surface temperature anomalies. But I've been surprised because the sea surface temperature anomalies, the positive anomalies, have been really dying off in the western Atlantic. We're starting to see those blues start to come in, and it's corresponding with the Nino 3-4 region. Because once the sea surface temperature started cooling in that region, the one that determines the El Nino, they started cooling over in the Atlantic too. And it's almost like a pattern. But you can see warmer than average temperatures. And also in the Western Gulf, you start to see those sea surface temperature anomalies come back to about half a degree or a degree above normal in Celsius. So here's the storm right now. Okay, it's sitting right there. And this is I believe this is GFS ensembles. Or no, not GFS ensembles, just like regular model tracks. And a lot of them don't go out too far yet. But all of them are taking it like in the southern Mexico and like towards Central America. So we do know that it's gonna move across through Mexico, maybe near Central America, and about 4 or 5 models take it into the Caribbean. Okay, here's 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe a 5th one here. I don't know. That one's kind of crazy. But yeah, 4 to 5 models take it out back into the Caribbean, and if it does, it will be over 72 or 96 hours. Over that, so about 3 or 5 days. CMC ensembles, kind of saying the same thing here. Okay, strengthening as it crosses over Mexico and Central America. You can see some more GEPS tracks as well. Some taking into the Caribbean and have a strengthening. But intensity guidance shows we could have just like Andrea, like a bare minimum tropical storm, but most models keep it as a tropical depression. For the last minute of this video, it'll be over at windy.com, so you can see. And we're going to skip on over to Saturdays according to the Euro model. Okay, wind gusts. Wind gusts will be pretty gusty with this storm. This will be like a nice windy storm like Andrea was. Had a lot of wind with it. We can definitely see some wind gusts, like well over 30 miles an hour at times. So, a gusty area over the Yucatan Peninsula, central Yucatan, around Merida in Mexico. So we'll have to see how it will go. But yeah, I think the chances of development will be about 10 to 25% in my opinion. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed that video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, take the next 30 seconds if you haven't already. Share this video please. Subscribe and also ring the bell notifications. Thank you for watching. I am The Weather Dude, signing off. Till next time.